David, congratulations on your appointment and welcome to Mansfield Town Football Club. What are your initial observations, comments and thoughts on becoming the club's new Director of Football?
No, thank you very much. It's an honour. I'm proud. Very proud man today. I'm very thankful for the opportunity from the chairman and Carolyn to be part of this great football club. I'm obviously the ex-chairman of Wigan, and I've had good times at Wigan Athletic, and I've been out of club football now for 18 months or so, and it's been frustrating, but at the same time it's given me plenty of energy. I'm still only very young, and you can see from these shots I'm still only very young, and I'm enthused to start work with Graham, the staff. I've had a good meeting with Graham this morning, and Andy Burgess, and got to know people around the place, etc. So just had a look around the training ground. I mean, unbelievable training ground for the status in terms of a League 2 training ground. I had a quick look around the stadium, and no, it's what the chairman and Carolyn have put in place here in terms of investment into the infrastructure. It's top drawer, and now I'm proud to be here, and it's an honour.
We'll reflect more about your time as chairman of Wigan Athletic shortly, but how did this opportunity come about?
Well, it's funny because you're always in contact with people in football when you've been in football, and it's very much a relationships type of industry, and I got to know the chairman and Carolyn when I was at Wigan through various EFL meetings, etc., abroad and in the UK, and never played each other. We never played each other, but kept in contact, and they must have liked the work that I did at Wigan, and were impressed, and knew I was out of the game and wanted to get back into the game. They must have heard, and had a quick conversation, a quick phone call a few weeks ago. One thing led to another, and had Zoom calls, obviously, as we have to in these sort of day and age with the situation, and now here I am today as the director of football at Mansfield Town, and I'm, as I said, I'm very proud and thankful for the faith they've shown in me, and hopefully I can reward them being a part of it with working with the staff and with Graham, obviously, and seeing what we can achieve.
And that role of Director of Football is a new one here, so tell us what it will entail.
Yeah, it's a role that and a title that people have different sort of opinions on in terms of what that actually entails and what that means. In my opinion, that my role as Director of Football will be very much to support the manager and the staff from academy up to the first team. I fully believe that the manager, when it comes to recruitment and issues such as recruitment and signings, etc., the manager should always have the final decision with the chairman. I've heard stories of the Director of Football signing the players, and the manager just turns into a head coach and doesn't really have a say on signings. That's not what I'm here to do, and I don't want to be that type of Director of Football. So working very closely with Graham, with his staff, with Andy Burgess, with the academy, etc. So that will be my role, sat sort of between the chairman, Carolyn, and the manager, and hopefully putting good processes in place, and the club will be better for it, and hopefully all pulling together in one direction. We'll have some good times ahead.
Yeah, we'll speak more about that later in a bit more depth, and the ambitions you hold for Mansfield Town in your new role here, and the challenges you will face in this current climate. But let's rewind the clock and speak about your time as chairman and director previously of Wigan Athletic, because in 2015 you became the youngest chairman in UK football history. What sort of a time was that like for you there?
It was a great time. I loved every minute of it. Even though my title was chairman, I was executive chairman, and I was there every day. It was a job to me. It wasn't just, I mean, the chairman, sometimes the title people think is just somebody that pays the checks and turns up to the games, and that's about it. But my role was very much day to day, working with every department within the football club, from football to commercial to hospitality, whatever it may be. So I loved it. We had great times. I look back on it fondly. I'm obviously going to use my experience there and hopefully bring some aspects of it to here, and see if we can learn from each other and see if we can gel it together. But yeah, as you say, it was a proud time. We won some trophies, some leagues, promotions, etc. I look back on it as a great time, but also it's been and gone. I move on, and here I am today as a stag.
It's a bit of a general question, this, but what were the main things that you learnt in your time as executive chairman at Wigan Athletic that you can use to your advantage here in this new role?
Yeah, it's tough because there's so many aspects of what goes on behind the scenes at a football club day to day. There's plenty. It's very much about the trust between all the players and the manager and the staff, and I obviously am part of that. We all have to trust each other. We have to work closely with one another, all pull in the same direction. We can't have anybody wandering off into a different direction that believes in something different. We all have to be on the same page. And with Graham Kavanagh as the manager, everybody will buy into that process. I'm 100% sure of that. So, given obviously this summer and his chance to put his stamp on the squad, I fully believe that Mansfield Town FC's fans will have a totally different team they can be proud of, and a manager they can be proud of, and hopefully it's going to be a successful time ahead.
Now, you met Graham Kavanagh, the Mansfield manager, earlier today at the club's training ground, and you also had a conversation with the chairman and chief executive earlier this afternoon, I understand. What was discussed in those meetings?
Very much me getting to know Graham, etc. It's something that I needed him to be comfortable with me, and that will take time. In terms of, I didn't want him to assume I'd be coming in and signing players, etc. without his knowledge. That's the last thing that will happen. So I just wanted to reassure him that that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to support him, to help him, to all achieve the same goal, which is have a successful team that we can all be proud of. So yeah, just very much getting to know each other better. We've already had a few phone conversations, etc. So that'll obviously, now that's done with, we'll work closely. We'll speak every day, I'm sure. Obviously, permitting with the situation at the moment, in terms of it's a bit awkward to meet somebody for the first time and not be able to shake his or her hand. So yeah, it was very much just getting to know everybody, having good conversations about his thoughts, his plans, the chairman and Carolyn's thoughts, and literally just a welcome to the football club, and they were delighted to have me on board, and that meant a lot. The phone call with the chairman and Carolyn meant a lot, and hopefully, as I said, there'll be plenty of good days ahead.
Now we speak, don't we, in a climate with waves of uncertainty, not only in sport, but in terms of health, economically, and many different aspects of life. But specifically to your role here, David, this new role here at the One Call Stadium, what are your immediate priorities with all that in mind? Because that will play a huge factor in your short term.
Yeah, definitely. And where there's a problem, there's also opportunity, in my opinion. With Graham wanting to put his own marker on the squad and his own stamp on the squad, we've got to use that situation. There's going to be a lot of players out of contract this summer that would normally get contracts at clubs maybe in League One, etc. That situation might be different now. So how can we come through this stronger and better? And I believe with the work that we'll do between now and whenever the new season starts, we still don't know that, and even if this current season is going to resume, that's still unclear. So there's going to be plenty of work going on behind the scenes to make sure we don't leave anything unturned, and we're fully ready. And Graham's happy with what he's got in place, and go into a new era, a new season with plenty of positivity and look towards a bright future.